The mitzvah of mezuzah, fixing a mezuzah on the doorposts of our homes, is featured in last week's Torah portion and in this week's, the Parsha of Akev. The mezuzah has often been viewed as a declaration by the Jewish inhabitant of that home as a statement, I am proud to be a Jew. This was the way a person would identify that this was a Jewish home. But mezuzah is much more than just an expression of pride. Mezuzah is an invitation. It's an invitation to God, saying to him, I want your presence to fill my home. In fact, the entire home should be viewed as an extension of the mezuzah, rather than the mezuzah an appendage to the home. The mezuzah is that which declares God's unity, that it's not just an abstract theological belief and concept, but it's a down-to-earth belief translated in the behavior of those who live and dwell within the home that has the mezuzah. This is a home that is guided by one God. You know, there's a story told of a poor man who was visiting a rich man's opulent palatial home, and the rich man is proud to show him every room. This is my kitchen, this is my sitting room, this is my dining room, this is my living room, this is my family room, this is this room, that room. And the poor guy just shakes his head and says, I'm so sorry for you. I really feel so bad for you. My life is so much simpler. I have one room. Everything is unified. You're scattered all over the place. You're so fragmented. You don't even know where you belong. If you want to take your home with all of its multiple functions, the bedroom, the kitchen, the dining room, the social room for social events, the family room, whatever names they give them, you need something to unify, that everything has one purpose, one overarching purpose, and that's what brings unity into the home. You know, they tell a story about in some South American country, a young woman who was trying to get a job to clean houses. She asked her older mentor, where do you think I can go to get a good place to clean where they'll pay very well and they're very honest? And she says, you go to those homes where they have thermometers on the doorposts. Those are good homes. And that's true. A mezuzah is a thermometer. It tells you how warm, how spiritually warm this home is, that it's a home in which everything and everyone unites together. And where do we need unity mostly? That's in a marriage. Marriage is two personalities who may clash and may conflict. How do you bring them together if they have a common purpose, a common objective? It's interesting that in the engagement document known as Tanoim, there's an expression that one party will not do anything to withhold things from the other party. And the words that are used is lo zu mizeh v'lezeh mizu. This is not about a zoo. This is about man and woman are referred to as zu, which is she, and zeh is he, that one, the she, will not do anything to withhold from the he, and the he from the she. Well, the words zu and zeh are in the word mezuzah. The only difference is that it also has a mem, and the mem stands for Torah. Mem is 40 because the Torah was given in 40 days. Mem stands for Mashiach because the ultimate goal of our Jewish homes is to create a divine presence in the home, and from the home it spreads throughout the entire community, and from there to the entire world. So in the aggregate, we bring God into this world, and that's what brings about the Messianic age. But the mezuzah has a paradoxical nature. While the mezuzah is there to show unity, to bring the husband and wife together, to bring the family together, to bring all aspects of the home together, it also is a delineation. This is where my house begins and ends, and I am not supposed to infiltrate, trespass on someone else's property. Everyone's property is demarcated, and one should not cross over to the other without permission, of course. This is actually based on the Jerusalem Talmud that explains how all the 10 commandments are found within the Shema. Now, in the Shema, there's a verse that we read this week that God says, by you keeping the mitzvah of mezuzah, your days will be lengthened on the land that God gives you. And our sages tell us that this is to tell us, the mezuzah is there to say that we shouldn't covet what belongs to someone else. This corresponds to the 10th commandment. Appreciate boundaries, that what is yours, and what is someone else's belongs to them. Of course, once you recognize the boundaries, you could ask permission to cross those boundaries. You can give from your own to the other. So the mezuzah recognizes the unity, and when you recognize the unity based on the belief in one God, and God controls everything, you also respect the boundaries that God set up. This is actually hinted in the very last paragraph of Maimonides' work, Mishnah Torah, where he talks about the Messianic age. And he says, in that period, there will be no more jealousy. There will be no more need to find out what's going on in other people's homes, to trespass, to be a voyeur. This will no longer be necessary. Why? Because the whole world will be permeated with the presence of God. Everyone will know God. Once God's presence is known, then you respect the integrity of the others. So the mezuzah does unify us, and it also protects the boundaries.